Hey everyone, it's Anne. I'm here with my amazing client, Amber Barry, and we are here to discuss her business and where she's at with her business now since she's been working with me for how long? 9 months?
Almost a year. I think we're about 10 months in or so.
10 months.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right, cool. Well, firstly, let's start with you, Amber. Tell us about your business, when you got started, and what was some of the concerns or desires you came with when you came into my mastermind?
Great. Yeah. So my business, basically I came into your world with a done for you agency. I was building a lot of different assets, marketing assets. So websites and sales funnels and membership sites. And it was a little all over the map. Like I was building lots of custom things for lots of different types of businesses. And I really needed help honing that in and having a focus so that I could scale more effectively because I sort of painted myself into a corner and I really enjoy working, but I was working so much and there was a cap to, like the level I had reached from a monthly income perspective and where I wanted to head to. And I really wanted everything to be more organized. And, I like systems and logic. And that's what I do for other people, but I was really having a hard time kind of getting out of my own way and doing it for myself.
Yeah, yeah. And look, and that's a common issue that we all have because we have our own blind spots and I know you'd had a lot of success already. You'd already become a digital nomad and you've started this movement for go-getters on a mission and you know, but you were still doing a little bit of work offline as well in your old career at the time when
Yeah.
we first started working together. And yeah, you wanted to simplify your business model a little bit and probably also pivot a little bit, right? Because you had a desire to do more coaching.
Yeah. Yeah. I really felt this like calling from within, and I had such a hard time like identifying what it was. So this like business success has been a long time coming. I had my first business, as you know, like 15 years ago. I had a health and wellness business back then because my day job and training is nursing and health coaching. And I struggled a lot back then for a long time, like 5 years, and worked probably about 80 hours a week, full time as a nurse, full time in my business, trying to get it up and off the ground, and never really dialed in the strategy back then or the clarity that I needed to like figure out what I was doing. I like truly had no idea like who I was helping or how I was helping them or like I didn't know any of that. I just had really good intentions and a lot of desire and passion to help people. But I burnt myself out and I went back to nursing. And when I started this business, you know, the pieces had come together and clicked for me over time, like when I was back in nursing and I had stepped away from things for a while. So when I came back to this, I was like, okay, I know what I did wrong the first time. I think I knew what I did wrong the first time. And I came in and I was like, I'm not going to make those same mistakes. And, there was a lot of trial and error and learning as it all came together. But yeah, I mean, I hit six figures in this business within 18 months. So, I did learn a thing or two the first time around, which was very validating. And I, you know, built this agency type business where I was building all of these things. And then I got to a certain point where I couldn't really handle all of the building on my own anymore. So I started building my team. And I had a lot of growing pains around that because I didn't know how to manage a team or build a team. And so, it's all learning always, like we're always going through this. And by the time I came to you, I really wanted to step out of the building role, and I wanted to be more like high level ideas and strategy and have my team really step in to do the building, which is what happened. So that was really great. And the calling was this, live life on your own terms, don't settle. I had come up with Go Getters on a Mission like 3 years ago. And I didn't really know what it was. I just knew that it like, hit me in the heart and I was like, okay, this is something like I want it to be something and I was really having a hard time getting it out of me. And so when we started working together, I was, I moved into the camper maybe about 4 months before we started working together. And I was, after 3 6-figure years in a row in my business, I was like getting ready to leave my nursing jobs. I had three of them at the time and a full-time agency that I was running. So I was very busy and life was not simple. And so I was having so much fear around leaving nursing and like stepping into this space. Um, yeah. And then enter Anne.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm so honored that I had the opportunity, well, that you chose to work with me. But tell us a little bit about what happened in the first month, because you were very keen to let go of the nursing work, but obviously you had some fear around that because that was a stable income, even though your agency was also doing pretty well at that point. But there was something that we shifted with your agency in that first month, right?
Yeah, so when I was leaving nursing, I had most of my clients were on a monthly retainer and they had come in and I had and still have clients, my very first clients who came in to work with me are still clients to this day, and I'm over 4 years in business. So that's great, except they were all on monthly retainers. And so when I was leaving nursing, I was like, well, what if they all leave at the same time? I mean, you get all these fears that come up, which is not necessarily a logical fear, but it is what it is. And it was
Yeah.
really making me like my nervous system was all revved up. And so as I got closer to the end of my day job, I decided to um, pitch an annual retainer program. Um, it was still offered in tiers, so people could choose to work with me for 12 months. Obviously, they got, some perks and a discounted price at that rate. Um, but almost 100% of my clients signed on for the annual term, which was wonderful, which resulted in, a very high revenue month. And that's where we kicked things off.
Yes. And you became one of the 70% of my clients who get their ROI in their first month.
Yeah.
I remember us having a conversation about it and you saying, what if I'm not? And I said, you are. You
Yeah.
already are. You're going to be because this is just a super quick win. And that's before we got into the strategy of looking at pivoting,
Yeah.
bringing in more coaching, and tell us a little bit more about that.
Yeah, that was a really big shift for me. So it's funny how much we get in our own way and we don't like all you have to do is look at things through a different lens, and it is so much more empowering than the way that we normally look at things. So I was getting in my own way. I had had all this success. I wasn't leaning into it. I wasn't like owning it at all, like owning my space in that arena. And so after I had, it ended up being over a 60K month, which was really big for me. And so I started leaning into that space and I started, sharing more um like stronger, bolder posts on social media. And then I sort of freaked myself out. So I had a little bit of turning inwards, which actually I really needed because it was the clarity piece. I need things to make sense in my head. Once they make sense, I'm good to go. But I really was, again, coming back to like my niche, my client, what was I doing? What was my offer, And that was something I struggled with so much with the agency. I was custom doing things for everybody. So nothing I was doing was the same as, something I was doing for somebody else,
Yeah.
which is really hard to create processes around because everything is different. Everything required my brain to think through from the top to the bottom. And so trying to get it out of me and dial in my offer in a way that felt right for me, like that felt good for me, took a little bit of time. Um, and a lot of digging and, peeling the onion,
Yeah.
the layers of me, and really like tapping into my purpose and my mission and um like my gifts and strengths and what I was really bringing to the table and starting to see that what I was bringing is different than what other people are bringing. Where, before it's like you get stuck in this comparison, or I think I'm supposed to do it in this certain way. Um, so it was really interesting, like an interesting period of self-discovery for me to kind of tap into this power that I felt that I had inside of me. And now I have more structure, and I've brought that flair and that angle and all of my knowledge about funnel building into more of a coaching style offer, which is
Yeah, yeah,
really,
yeah. And we need to talk about funnel building. I want people to know about what you do because I don't think we've even mentioned that yet.
oh, yes, I build funnels.
Yes, you do. You do. And you do it very well. But we both, in these last sort of 10 months, went down a rabbit hole of human design too.
Oh, yeah. Mhm.
I think you've gone deeper down that rabbit hole than I have, but I love the fact that it was kind of, that's just a fun fact. That's not
Yeah,
something all my clients do. But coincidentally, we both went through that journey of
yeah,
a lot of self-discovery around understanding our human design. And I know you've now incorporated that into your coaching program and you do a lot of
yeah.
that too. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the big clarity piece I think that I was missing. So once, and I think, was it you? I can't remember where I started. I think I had learned a little bit about human design before, and I was like, oh, that's really cool. I'd love to learn more about that. But I was in this space of like, let's be reasonable and not, go down all the rabbit holes. Let's just stay focused.
Yeah.
So I didn't go down that rabbit hole. And then in the very beginning, when you must have just gotten started because I think you posted in the group, do I
Correct.
have any, do I have any manifestors or reflectors in this group? And I was like, I don't even know what I am, but tell me what to do and I'll look it up. And I happened to be a manifester. So that was kind of our start. That was
Yeah,
so
yeah.
fun.
That was so fun. That was so fun. So could you share a little bit about like anything in particular that you felt was helpful for you in terms of my program, my coaching style, that kind of thing? If anyone else is considering working with me, what do you think they could expect?
Yeah, I mean, I think that your support has been invaluable. Like, it's nice to have a sounding board where you obviously understand the strategy, and it's really nice to have somebody that has a different lens or, is not like in the thick of things, like an outside perspective to come in and talk strategy with. Like that's so fun because most of the people I work with don't really understand strategy. So I'm talking about strategy with them, but to have somebody that, we can really discuss like the nitty gritty and go into that has been huge because again, like I was putting together the pieces for other people's businesses. And I understood all the strategy and all of the bits and pieces, but I wasn't the face. I was like the backup singer working behind the scenes to make it
Yeah.
all work, but I wasn't the coach up front doing, like sharing my stories and being vulnerable and like doing all of that stuff. So it was a totally different space. And you really let me, like, you supported me through that space and also gave me time because I really needed the inner discovery. Like I had to do that in order for all the rest of it to come together. And so you did that, and I didn't feel like judged or anything. Like it was really nice to have that space, but also you were like, don't forget, we have a purpose here. Like we are, let's stay on track and let's make sure, we do X, Y, and Z. So having the accountability and the strategy and the support um was really, really helpful.
Thank you. Yeah. And look, and whilst you were taking a little bit of extra time to figure out the coaching part of your business, which I totally respect, you wanted more clarity around that. And but you were still bringing in income, right, from your agency, and you were still, signing up new clients into your agency too. So, but I know now your business is shifting, has shifted, and is continuing to shift as you do have this your coaching program, you have coaching clients, you really want to scale that part of your business. Tell us a little bit about, tell us a bit more. This is my final question. Tell everybody more about your business, what you do from, sales funnel perspective, coaching, creating this freedom lifestyle that you've been able to embody and create for yourself. Um, Tell people how they can find you and all those things.
Yeah. Okay. So I think what I really needed was to create something that was uniquely me, that felt like aligned with me, like the truth of who I am. And so I was having a hard time saying like, hey, I build six-figure funnels, because to me, it's not all about the money. I needed to like take what was inside of me and express it in a way that felt correct, and also that would help other people move forward for
Yeah.
their life and also for their business. And so, in the beginning, I think we had kind of settled on like six-figure sales funnels. Great. Like what I was doing, one of the many parts of all the custom stuff I was doing was building funnels. That's a big part of what you need on the back end. Um, you don't necessarily need it. I know, like, we can be simple about this, right? But I'm building the tech. And so I had great success with funnels. My clients were having $200,000 launches, and we were generating 2,000 leads in like a 1 month time, all great things. And so it made a lot of sense for me to settle into that area, which I've now done. And it's very fun because now I can go deep. In my human design, I'm a 4-1. I like to go deep on things. And so now I can go deep on funnels, and I can go and create a process for a funnel and to help people walk through all of the elements that you really need to have it be successful. Because again, I was building all of these things for people. Sometimes, depending who was the face of the business, we would get great results. Again, like
Yeah.
200K launches, etc. I would also build a funnel in the exact same way for a different business who didn't maybe have the clarity or the strategy in place, outside of the funnel. And those funnels weren't really doing much of anything. And so I started looking deeper into why, like what makes a successful funnel successful versus one that's built, essentially the same way that really doesn't generate a whole lot of results. And so I got to go deep into that and turn that into now a coaching program. So I have two coaching slash done for you ish type offers.
Yeah.
I have a group program called Foundations, Funnels, and Freedom. And so foundation is like where it's at for me. It needs to be strong in order to scale, obviously, and to be sustainable. Um, and if you're trying to leave your day job or create a life of freedom or anything, like you really need to have this foundation, like something that's strong that you can rely on.
Yeah.
And I know that because when I left my day job, I was so anxious about not having that safety and security of, the day job income, where now I'm, supporting my team and also buying my own health insurance and all these things like that. I needed a strong foundation to rely on. So I want other people to understand like how much the foundation comes into play with all of these things. And that's like the clarity and the messaging and like all of that that goes into a successful funnel. And then we do the funnels. So top to bottom, like what does that look like? And really, I think of that in 4 steps, like top of the funnel, middle of the funnel, bottom of the funnel, and then client experience, where we're making happy people on the back end.
Yeah.
And then to create a life of freedom. So what does that look like? Like you might not want to live in a camper, and that's fine. But I see so many people aiming for a six-figure business or 10K months or something along those lines. And to me, it's not that. Like I made it to the six-figure, and I wasn't feeling fulfilled. Like it wasn't correct for me. And so it's so much better to aim for something and really be aligned with like the finish line that you're aiming for, because when you get there, you're more satisfied and happier and more fulfilled and actually feeling that sense of freedom that I think most people are aiming for. Like I could live in a camper and have location freedom and financial freedom, but if I didn't have time freedom and I was just sitting in the camper all the time, well, what have I done to myself? So
Yeah.
um, so that is the group coaching offer, which is great. We have some women in that group getting great results, which is so fun to see. Um, you know, like one of my clients came to me with a duffel bag of passionate ideas and interests, and she was like, I want to start a business. Here's what I have. And we have broken that down and gone deep and really like tuned into her purpose and her mission and like her strengths because she was like, I don't know anything. I don't know enough to do this. Like, what am I doing? But now she's like, I know what I'm doing and I have strength and confidence and I know that I can help people and here's how, which is
Yeah.
really, really wonderful. So we're working on putting all those pieces together so that she's set up to have a successful funnel, successful business. And then, so that's more for women who need some work on the back end, finding the clarity, figuring out like all the bits and pieces. They don't necessarily have an offer yet that's proven, that's been selling regularly. And then I have another one for women who have a successful offer, like a proven offer that's been selling. They're earning money in some capacity, semi-consistently at least. Um, and now they want to bring a funnel into play.
Yeah.
And again, we're working through the details and the strategy and also like going deep to figure out and make sure it's aligned, energetically and all of that kind of stuff. Um, and then we're talking strategy and putting the pieces together. And with that, we do a done for you. So we are doing the building on the back end and then testing and optimization for a whole year.
Love that. Love that. And I know you personally. I know you, your heart, you overgive like
Regularly.
I do. But we're here to have an impact, right? It's not just about the money, like you said. And if you're not happy with your life, no matter how much money you make, it doesn't change that.
Yeah.
So the money is a byproduct of doing what we love. And I guess the truth is, the more money we make, the more impact we can have, you know,
Yeah.
ultimately, if
Yeah.
that's really important to us. So thank you so much. Thank you for making the time to be interviewed by me. So how can people find you? I will actually drop some links as well. Where's the best place for people to follow you?
Um, Probably on Facebook for, my personal Facebook page. So I'm the most active there out of everywhere on social media. I do have my free Facebook group. So it's Six Figure Sales Funnels for Coaches and Consultants. And so I do live training and trainings in there every week, which is super fun. So I am very active in that group as well. And then I have two websites, Go Getters on a Mission. So that is with the new coaching offers, and there is a blog and soon to be podcast. So that's very exciting. And then Amberberry Digital is the agency website. And so that is more of the ongoing management done for you, like
Yeah,
back end tech and operations
yeah,
been doing since
yeah,
I
yeah.
started.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you
Yeah.
again. And
Yeah.
guys, follow Amber, check her out. If you do want to build a funnel, I highly, highly recommend you speak to Amber and she can help you with the strategy and the implementation and all the things. Thank you again for being here. And
Thank you. It's been wonderful.
okay, talk soon. Bye.
All right. Bye.